Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 3 of my Christmas series and I am so excited. For some reason there is a red plaid theme that was not planned, I swear. I don't know how that ended up happening, but I'm glad it did because it looks so Christmassy in here. First project, we're going to do these mini gifts. This is the easiest thing I have honestly done. You're going to wrap it like a gift. I had to jump on these when I found them. They are these wooden blocks that I've been dying to find and I finally got my hands on some. But if you cannot find these because a lot of people are having an issue finding them, you can also use the foam dice that Dollar Tree sells. Most people can find those. And it's the same shape. It's just not as boxy. It's a little more rounded at the edges. But I cut out some squares from this plaid Dollar Tree wrapping paper and I just wrapped this like a gift. Now I didn't have tape on hand and I don't know why, so I used these adhesive strips. I've been using these adhesive strips for everything and I'm in love with them right now. They work so well. But that was it. I literally just wrapped them and I just took some twine and I went ahead and wrapped it around the gifts like so. I suck at bows, so do not expect the works when it comes to the bow, but that's what I ended up doing and this came out amazing. And the fact that I didn't have to paint them or anything, I can reuse these in a later DIY, so I'm really excited about that. And this is how it looks on my tier tray. I set a few on the tier tray, a few around the house, and it looks so cute. Second project is this Plaid Deer. I love how this project came out. So these deer are cute on their own, but I did not like that they were fully glittered, so I went ahead and I took the same exact wrapping paper from the first DIY and I used it on the body of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some Mod Podge, or as I always say, you can use Elmer's glue, but I went ahead and added some Mod Podge to the entire deer. Now what you can do to get a smoother finish, and you will see once I get the wrapping paper on, you can completely sand this down and it'll be a lot smoother. But I actually liked the way it looked not sanded. It looks a little more homemade, it's a little more my style. You're going to put the Mod Podge side down right on top of the wrapping paper, and then you're going to take an X-Acto knife or a box cutter. This is the box cutter that I had from the Dollar Tree, of course, and I went ahead and I very carefully went around the edges with it. And do this slow because their wrapping paper is not the greatest quality. But as you can see, there's like a few wrinkles. I didn't mind at all. My reindeer look amazing, so do what you will. And then a little extra thing that I did was I took my antique wax from Waverly and I went around the edges just because the edges are, you can still see a little bit of the glitter. And then I also wanted to make that a little more bronze, so I went ahead and I colored the antlers as well with the same antique wax. And then I had a big bow at home that I kind of took apart and used it as the scarves on the 3 reindeer, because I did make 3 reindeer. And then I had a bell also from an old pick that was in a Christmas box, and then I had this pick as well. I added it, and that's what it looks like above my TV, right above my village, and that's a little close-up of it, and I love how that one came out. These will be used for years to come. Third project, the Mary sign. This one came out so well. So first you're going to need this ornament wooden piece from the Dollar Tree and the same Waverly paint from earlier. And this is my trick to make something look like you stained it without staining it. You take the antique wax and you take a paper towel and you apply it with a paper towel just nice and dry and kind of spread it around, and it gives the look of being stained without actually the pain of actually having to stain something. And then I went around the edges with a little more just to kind of give certain areas darker shading. I don't really know how to shade, but that's what I did and it worked out for me. I like the way it came out, but this dries almost instantly as well. So I love that without having to actually use, you know, the stain. And I took that Mary sign and I went ahead and I added some Mod Podge all over the top of it. And then I took a fabric swatch from the Dollar Tree, this red plaid one, and I added it to every place but the deer. I wanted the deer to be glittered, so I added more Mod Podge to the top of that, and then I added red glitter, just so that had a little bit of pop on it. You're gonna sit that, let it dry. Add another layer of Mod Podge on top as well, so you get more of a glossy finish once it's completely dry. And then I just use scissors and an X-Acto knife, or excuse me, a box cutter, and I just alternated between the two and cut everything out like so. And once you get it all cut out, I went ahead and added a little bit of that antique wax to the inside, just to kind of darken that wood. And then I found these picks that I had from a decoration just in my closet, and I went ahead and I added those to the top. I also hot glued the Mary sign to the ornament wooden piece as well. And then I took some berries that came from a Dollar Tree. It wasn't from a pick, it was an actual pack. And that is it. I just hot glued that in the middle, and this is how it came out. My fourth and final project for this video, I'm calling it my tree farm. You're gonna need 3 of those large trees, and that was a smaller, I believe, candle holder that you can paint. I'm not sure what that thing is, but it had 2 trees on it. And you're also gonna need some more fabric. And I went ahead and I took everything off. If you're gonna hang it, I guess you can leave those strings on or use command strips, but I'm not gonna hang it. Mine's gonna stand up. So I went ahead and I took everything off of them. Now this tree you're going to completely take apart. You're going to take the front tree off, the back tree off, and then you're going to pull apart all 3 pieces of that wood as well. I was having a little bit of trouble getting it off. It's really not that hard. If you have more muscles than I do, which most people do, you won't have any issues getting it off. But I went ahead and I pulled everything apart because I'm going to be using those wood pieces right now. I'm going to be using those to help stand up my trees. So I just took some more fabric from the Dollar Tree and I cut that one in half because 2 of the outer trees will be white and black, the middle tree will be red plaid, and then the 2 smaller trees I'm going to paint them green. So I'm going to add, of course, some Mod Podge to the top, and then you're going to use your antique wax for the stump, or you can use the fabric. I wanted the stump to actually look like a tree stump, so I went ahead and I added my antique wax to that. Add more Mod Podge on top, add my red one to my red one, and then this I used my Apple Barrel Christmas green paint and I painted the 2 trees. Honestly, I was going to use fabric. I had green fabric from the Dollar Tree, but I ran out of Mod Podge, so I went ahead and I just painted those. Then you're going to carefully just cut it out. Use fabric scissors. This fabric is actually really good thick fabric and it's hard to get with regular scissors. But it can be done if you don't have fabric scissors. Once they're all done and dried, you're going to take those 2 pieces I told you to save and you're going to just add some hot glue. And you're going to attach it to the bottom of the 2 white and black trees because those will be the outer trees and that's where I want the most support. And then I went ahead and I took the green trees and I hot glued them, those are the smaller trees, to the outside of the white trees, or the white and black trees. And then I hot glued the red one right in the middle of both. And I also had this other Dollar Tree sign. I wasn't a fan of how it looked, so I just ripped off the Noel from it and I added that to the middle just for some wording. And that is how that came out. I loved how that came out. Honestly, red plaid was the theme and I don't know how, but it was a happy accident. As always, like, subscribe, and once again, thank you so much